You've probably come across the RSI indicator before in your trading endeavors, but did you know if you add it to the Renko charts, you're essentially combining momentum and price action, you can create some unique opportunities, unique edges in your trading. And in this video, I'm going to take you through 7 different ways you can use the RSI combined with Renko to, like I say, give you powerful trading setups that you can go away and play with and use in your own trading. So with that, let's get stuck in. Now, I first wanted to start with the standard RSI setup on a candlestick chart, just to show you the power of Renko when you add the two together, and also why just following the standard rule book on RSI can limit your options and trading activity, and I think can be improved upon by using, like I said, these new methods and combined with Renko to make much more powerful setups. So if we take a look at the chart, we've just got the USD JPY currency pair here, 3-hour chart. Down the bottom, the RSI. Now, it's all about really in the RSI, in the standard setup, the overbought and oversold zones. Now, the rules would probably tell you, as it either goes back down through this 30 line or up through the 30 line, you buy it because it's oversold, and vice versa to the reversal of that to the downside. When it's overbought, you maybe look to sell as it goes through or crosses back down. Now, it's not a bad setup itself. You'll see in a moment why that standard set of rules doesn't really work for Renko, but like I said, we can take the foundations here, add them to the Renko charts and create a much more powerful, I think, effective strategy setup. So first up, we've got a setup that I call the RSI trendline breakout on the Renko charts. Now, before I get going, please, I know you're going to get, I'm going to get questions on YouTube about this. The block size and the time frame in the charts does not matter. I'm just illustrating in this video how you can use the RSI. You go and find the block size and the time frame yourself. The principles work across all of those. So I just want to get that clear, save you writing the questions in the comments. So back to our first setup. So it's really easy. It's just about drawing trend lines on our RSI at the bottom there. It's the standard RSI I've got here at the moment, but if you really want to play around with it, you can make it faster or slower. This one is a really fast 4-period RSI, but the standard one at 14, you can see what that does to the Renko RSI setup. What I have noticed is the higher the number you go, the less you get into the 70 and 30 zone. So I like to use faster one, normally between 7 and 4 when I'm coming up with my strategies. But anyway, let's get back to the trend line. So we're really just connecting the highs and lows within the chart. So for example, it's a subjective exercise, of course. We got the high, the low and the high there. Let's just keep drawing a bit. There's a high there. You can use the peaks as well. Same rules of trend line creation. 3 touches are strong, 2 intermediate. But you can also take the high and low here. See, we've got that there for a nice downtrend over a longer time. Again, we've got the low there. We can maybe take it through there. Like I said, very subjective strategy. I'm more systematic in my approach. So this is one I don't use that much, but it's something you consider if you like this style of trading. So how do we actually then use it? Well, when the RSI breaks above a downtrend line while the Renko bricks turn green, consider that a long entry trade. And conversely, when the RSI breaks below an uptrend upward trend line, while the Renko bricks turn red, consider that a short trade. So how do we get out of that? Well, we hold the trade until the RSI approaches the opposite extreme, maybe 70 for long, 30 for short, or until the Renko bricks reverse. So taking a look at a couple of examples, down here we've got this nice downtrend. You see where that breaks there, see what happens to the price action. You could possibly buy there, you get out as it goes to 70 or back down through the 70, which would give you, a few points there on the trade. And we got this low to high opportunity here. You can maybe sell in there and get out as it goes back into the oversold zone. If you want a more cautious approach, take out the whipsaws of possible trades like this, then I've just added on a 50 moving average, just an example. If it's above it, I look for long trades, and if it's below it, I look for short trades around that RSI setup. So that's our first RSI Renko setup. We've actually got numbers 2 and 3 in this setup here, and it's all about the 50 line on the RSI, often overlooked. I think there it is, sitting there, slap bang through the middle of the RSI. I really like this. It's very useful. Now the first one, really quick, I use this as a trend filter, and if you back test it, it really is very strong. So above the 50 line, I'm looking for bullish trades, below bearish. Simple as that, nothing more than that. Combine that with other indicators like stochastics or Bollinger Bands from some of my other videos, makes a really powerful filter there. Really do like it. But that leads on to my third sort of RSI setup here. I call it the pullback setup, and again I'm looking for fast RSI inputs there, so say between 4 and 7. And what's the strategy? Well, in a strong uptrend with obviously the green Renko bricks, wait for the RSI to dip below the 50 during a pullback, and then enter the trade when the RSI crosses back above 50 and a new green Renko brick forms. And it's the opposite for the downtrend, when the RSI goes above the 50, obviously during a pullback, then wait for it to go back below the 50 and the new red Renko brick forms, and you're off and away. Stop loss, take profit. Well, I'd place a stop loss below or above the recent swing low high, and I'd use a trailing stop to ride the trend. So I've made this example really obvious by going on the S&P 500 daily chart, Renko chart with 100 block size, just to really show you an uptrend. I just want to show you the pullbacks in action a lot easier. So you can see, we've got multiple pullbacks in here against what is essentially a very long-term uptrend. And we go down to our RSI indicator down here, and we're going to take this one here as our example. You can see the pullback there, comes back down through the 50, and we jump back in as it goes on back up. And as you can see, that was a lovely trade going all the way there. Like I said, talked about stop loss, take profit. Use a trailing stop to use that. Maybe have the super trend indicator. I'll leave that one up to you. But that essentially is number 2 and 3. Now this one is another small tweak. Again, as you can see down the bottom, all I've done is I've added a moving average to the RSI to sort of maybe making our trend line approach more systematic. What did I put on there? If we just go into the settings there, you can see there I've ticked on the RSI base moving average. inputs. We got the 4 for the RSI, and we got a 20 in now. I find that a nice number. It gives you a chance to ride the trend a bit, takes out some of the noise. And how could you trade this? Well, is it sort of very similar to the other approaches? When it crosses, above, we buy and we get out. Either when it comes back through the overbought zone there at the 70 level, or when it crosses back the moving average again. And as you can see, you'll get some nice trades out of it. Again, maybe you want to add a trend filter like the 50 moving average on there to take out some extra noise. Again, some nice little trades to be had, picking off really nice moves along the way. Again, this one here, if it was below the 50, probably wouldn't take it. Wait till I get the signal when it's above that trend, just to make sure it's more of a solid odds on your side type setup. Now this setup also obvious, but again sometimes not thought through properly. This is the RSI combined with other indicators. Now, like I said, you could maybe use that RSI with that 50 filter that we saw. Let's just put that onto the settings. Let's get rid of the moving average, put the 50 back on as your trend line filter there, and then that could be your trend determinant. So anything above we're buying, anything below we're selling. There's our buy zone, there's our sell zone. And then remember, the RSI is based off the close, and I've done a video recently on how to put together the best indicators. I'll put a link to that at the end of this video, because we don't want to put indicators together based off the same information. So we're looking for combinations of different indicators, all telling us basically the same answer, but based off different inputs. And the stochastic, that's more of a volatility indicator below, and we could maybe use this if, for example, let's just take this rough example here. Say the price had moved up and we've gone through our 50 line there on the RSI, and we've got a move up through the 20 line on the stochastic. Then we would buy, and then maybe we close out as it moved back down through the 80 line there, which allows you to trade that whole trend up there. So like I said, combination of indicators, very powerful. I've also put on there some Donchian bands with an offset. You could, again, same principle, the 50 line there, when it breaks out you buy it, when it goes back into the bands you sell it. So simple ideas there, but highly effective. And because of the Renko chart smoothing out the price data, like I said, it keeps you in these trends longer. We've got momentum, price action, all hived together to create something really powerful. Now our sixth strategy is all about divergence. Again, I don't really use this because it's very discretionary, but for those that do like this, it works very nicely. So we've got gold here. We can see that we've got this downtrend here in the RSI. Again, same rules for drawing trend lines as any other charts on the Renko, and we got some more bullish RSI, so we've got higher lows there and lower highs there. So this is a indication for a bullish divergence setup, and we'd expect as that price broke up through that trend line there to have some positive price action. Again, you could maybe put the moving average on the RSI to get you out of that trade, or when it came back down through the 30, maybe even adding another indicator. Again, go away, back test it yourself, see what you come up with. And that's, we're seeing that action sort of that way and that way on the chart. That's a bullish divergent pattern, and it would be the opposite if we're seeing the price going that way and the RSI going that way. We'd be expecting the price to go down. Now our last setup is sort of a blend of the others. It's a dual time frame RSI with Renko confirmation. Now again, we go over to the left hand side, we've got a 45-minute Renko chart here on gold, giving us a block size of $5.50. Again, relevant for this process. All we need to know is we've got a higher time frame here. It could be daily here, 4 hour there, it could be 1 hour, 1 minute, whatever you want, whatever you test. Again, there'll be a video at the end of this, which like I said, I've done recently, that helps you come up with this sort of decision making process. But essentially we need the higher time frame on the left, the lower on the right, and we're going back to our rules about maybe being over and under the 50. So if we see the price here in this chart, and we then go down to RSI and it's above the 50 line there in the middle, or maybe you might want to take the overbought and oversold 70-30 lines here to give you an idea of the trend. So my simple rule would be above 50, I'm only looking for long trades on the lower time frame, and below 50 I'm looking for short trades on the lower time frame. It's as simple as that. And then you would go to your setup on the right hand side, and maybe we're just sticking with the RSI, and we're going here. We can, so let's just take an example. We've got the action moving down through the 50 line there, and actually we could be saying, well, when it moved down through the 50 line on that chart, we take the short trade. Or some people even like to trade as it goes down through the 30 to capture that last bit of move there. Or come up with another indicator. Stochastic, fast stochastic on there is very good. Look at some of the other videos I got on the Renko chart to create the setup there. But the key takeaway from this one is the chart on the left. That is your trend filter. The higher time frame is your trend filter, and I can say I've got a lot of setups like this, and it does increase the odds of winning because it's filtering out a lot of the short-term directional noise that gets you into trades that you don't want to be in. So yeah, really like that dual time frame setup. There you go, 7 very good setups for you to take away, play with by yourself. Do your own due diligence on them, back test them, get comfortable with them, adapt them into your own world. Let me know in the comments below, what setups you come up with the RSI. Do you use any alternative approaches to the RSI? I'd love to hear from you there. So, I hope you've also been able to see that, adding the RSI to the Renko charts, and the way that the Renko chart smooths out the noise, the price action, makes it more clear. Then you add a powerful indicator like the RSI to it, it increases your options endlessly to what you can achieve with this sort of combination of technical analysis tools. And if you'd like to learn more about technical analysis, and especially the Renko charts, I'll put a playlist at the end of this video, link to a playlist I've got on my channel that you can work your way from top to bottom, and you'll come out the other side a Renko expert. If you've liked today's video, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the notification and subscribe buttons. It all helps the channel, and you won't miss out on any future content. And oh yes, also that other video I said, how do you put perfect technical analysis indicator combinations together, and the rules behind that. Well, the link to that video is also coming up right now.